Hey, minimum effort here, and yeah, that OTA really messed things up, didn't it? I will talk more about the OTA at the end of the video. Let's park that there for now, and let's get to this deck that we're playing this week. We're playing a Zoo deck this week. The reason for that is because in the OTA, Killmonger got nerfed, and now Zoo is potentially viable because the risk of Killmonger destroying all your one-cost cards is now gone. Like, you're not going to see Killmonger for 2 weeks. So if you like playing Zoo, or if you've never played Zoo before and want to give it a try, now is the time. So if you've never played Zoo before, it's very simple. What you're trying to do is get as many of your cards on the board as possible, and most of those being one-cost cards. So you're trying to generate these one-cost cards with Squirrel Girl for additional squirrels, Hawkeye Cape Bishop for those arrows, and Shanna for those extra kind of one-cost cards across the board in all 3 lanes. Then you're trying to buff those cards with Marvel Boy to focus on kind of individual cards that it will hit. Kazar will give all your one-cost cards extra power, and Blue Marvel will give all your cards extra power. So there's lots of ways to get power in this deck, and then you're kind of looking at your finishers on turns 5 and 6, being the Thing, Fantastic Four First Steps, and Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, I think, save for turn 6 if you can, because it's that kind of surprise factor of if you have a couple of spots available, your opponent might be expecting Gilgamesh, but they might not be able to predict where, because Gilgamesh is potentially really, really big power. Like, I got him to 520, I think, in one game. It's massive. That's absolutely massive. That's an infinite. That's how big that card can be. But obviously you do need all your cards pretty much to be buffed by everything else that's going on. But also, I really like the Thing First Steps in this deck, and I think this is the kind of alternate that you might not have seen in Zoo decks before. As I think this could easily be Ultron. You could put Ultron in this deck, or Doctor Doom. You could do something like that just to kind of give you extra options to fill your board, basically. But I like Thing First Steps because it's another power scaler with Gilgamesh, or instead of Gilgamesh if Gilgamesh is still in your deck. Because the Thing Fantastic Four First Steps, if you're playing it on 5, don't fill yet, but then fill it on turn 6. By the end of the game it will be a 5-10, but then it's destroying something. So the equivalent of that power is more than 10. It's whatever it destroys. So it could be a 5-14 if it destroys a 4 power card, for example. And for 5 cost cards, that is very, very good. And having that extra power elsewhere on the board is just very useful for you. So let's a quick run through the deck. Ant-Man, a 1-cost card. It's going to get buffed by obviously additional cards, but also having a +4 power for filling your side of the location. Very, very good. Ant-Man's very good. Nico in this deck has a lot of kind of different options, like being able to copy Ant-Man, being able to copy Kate Bishop if you need to get extra arrows on the board, even being able to copy Marvel Boy or something like that. Those kind of low cost cards that you can still get extra things out of is very useful. Also, just turning things into a demon is good. Like, you can play Nico and then turn Squirrel Girl into a demon, because you're still getting a demon, which is a 1-cost card with 6 power, plus the extra squirrels, which can be buffed as well. So yeah, that's a very good option. You could potentially destroy the Squirrel Girl to get more cards if you really need to. If you're looking to draw your big power cards for the end of the game, that's an option too. So yeah, Nico, or even just giving +2 power to whatever the next card is that you play. Nico's very good. I think having those options for Nico is very good, and of course she is a 1-cost card. Squirrel Girl, excellent for getting cards on the board. That's exactly what you need to do. Yes, they're low cost when you play them, but then you're looking to buff them through the course of the game, and obviously give the ability to your bigger power cards to get even bigger. So yeah, Squirrel Girl, a key card for Zoo decks. Dazzler, like I said, you can potentially swap Dazzler for Herbie, but if you are able to fill all 3 locations, Dazzler is a 2/8. That's really, really good. So yeah, have Dazzler in, but then if you're not if you find that you're not filling all 3 locations, then you can swap Dazzler for something like Herbie, give that a chance instead. Hawkeye Cape Bishop, get those arrows on the board. Yes, sometimes it will be the acid arrow, but the acid arrow can potentially be very good for disrupting your opponents as well. But yeah, obviously the Pym arrow is the key one, of having that ongoing, like another Ant-Man basically, for filling your side of the board. extra power. So yeah, Hawkeye Kate Bishop, very good. Marvel Boy, of course, you want to be buffing those 1-cost cards where you can. Playing a Squirrel Girl on 1 or 2. Play Marvel Boy on 3, and instantly you start buffing those squirrels. That's really good. Shanna, of course, just to get those extra 1-cost cards on the board as well. Yes, there is a bit of a risk involved, because if you get something like Marta or Zero, something like that, it's a bit risky, or even Blade. That could get rid of something that you need, or affect the card that you want to play next. But those are the kind of risks you take. Ideally, you just want to get Shanna on the board to get those 1-cost bodies on, and then hopefully you have enough cards to deal with the rest of it. Kazar, of course, key for buffing your 1-cost cards with +1 power. Yeah, Kazar's very good in Zoo decks. Same for Blue Marvel, giving your other cards 1+1+ power for all cards. If you can play, if you can fill as many cards as you can, turns 1, 2, and 3, Kazar on 4, Blue Marvel on 5, and then see what else you can do on 6. But yeah, Blue Marvel, essential for getting Gilgamesh as big as you possibly can. Yes, you can do that without Blue Marvel, but because Blue Marvel buffs everything, you've got a really good chance of getting a very big Gilgamesh with that. And yeah, the thing first, Fantastic Four First Steps, just like I said, a very good power output in total, as well as kind of destroying something that could be disruptive for your opponent. This is kind of an alternate card that I've put in this deck, but yeah, really like this card. And yeah, Gilgamesh, massive power with Gilgamesh. This guy can get as big as Infalort. It's really, really good. And Mockingbird, just because obviously if you're playing squirrels on the board, if you're playing copies with Nico, if you're playing cards that have been generated by Shanna, Mockingbird can get cheap, and obviously 9 power is very, very good to get on the board where you can. It kind of gives you the option to actually go wide rather than tall, because if you have Mockingbird in one lane, you set up Fantastic Four First Steps in another lane, and then you have Gilgamesh as well potentially go in another lane. It gives your opponents it worries your opponents because they're not sure where your power is going to go on that final turn, if you're going to go tall or wide. So yeah, Mockingbird, very, very good in this deck as well. So yeah, that is the deck. We went 7-3 with it, really good run. Won the first 7 games actually, and then lost the last 3, which is a bit of a downer. But yeah, this deck plays very well. We weren't snapping too much, we're just trying to play some games. So the cube rate isn't high, but obviously you can see when you're playing this deck, if you have those cards set up for turns 5 and 6, that is when you should be snapping. So yeah, plenty of power in this deck, and yeah, good opportunities to win games. So yeah, if you get the chance, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to bring you as many decks as I can when the OTA doesn't mess things up for me. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on anything else. So yeah, enjoy these gameplay highlights. Cheers. Okay, cool. Yeah, Squirrel Girl to start is very good. And Raptors for Savage Land. And a Marvel Boy. Yeah, cool, we'll do this. Yeah, what we can do is we can leave left lane for Gilgamesh. Although Gilgamesh and Wakanda is potentially interesting. Nico currently don't do anything for us. Unless we just play the Nico and then play the Marvel Boy. Don't mind that. Trying to feel left, that's the problem. Let's play Marvel Boy here, and then it will move to the right. It will move to the middle. And we'll see if we can get a better hit for Krakoa. That's Corvus Glaive for them, so that's 5. So Clean Wing and Proxima got discarded. Yes, Kazar's very good. What we ideally want this to hit is Ant-Man. This lady's Sif. Okay, so Apocalypse getting hit. Yeah, okay. A decent game of Marvel Snap at the moment. Hit the Mockingbird. Mockingbird is 14 power. What's going to be bigger? Gilgamesh or Mockingbird? If Mockingbird plays here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gilgamesh goes to 16 power, to 25. That still might not be enough. We can't play Mockingbird and Shana because that would fill here for Gilgamesh. Maybe we do Gilgamesh now. And then we see what else we've got in our other lanes. Dracula at the left. Still got 3 cards in hand. And they need to play a 9 power mid to win. And it's Ant-Man. Oh, they retreated, yes. Actually, we had a decent line there. Because we could have played... They would have needed something big here, because we could have had 25 power with Mockingbird, plus Shanna and Ant-Man, right? So I think, yeah, even though they retreated, if they had a decent hand, we still would have given it a go. So yeah, that's... yeah, this deck can do very well. We did get lucky with the extra Raptors, though. I'm going to be Regis now. Is this a featured location? But yeah, cool. Yeah, Central Park is not the featured location. The featured location this week, that sucks. That sucks for them. Is the featured location was that one that split 8 power between all cards in that lane, which I was trying to play Captain Carter into there actually, and so I had Captain Carter in that lane, and they had a Hood in that lane. That's all the only cards that were there. And by the end of that turn, my Captain Carter went to 3, and their Hood went to 4 power. So they gained 7 power, and I gained 1. It was ridiculous. So, Rage Lab. It sure is a lab. So there's Acid Arrow. Might as well drop the Grapple Arrow now as well. Toxie Doxie in 2025, the year of our Lord. Can you believe it? And nothing obviously in Oswald Tower. I need something to fill. Maybe we need Ultra in this deck, you know. For something. Kazar's good. Yeah, we need a filler. We need a Squirrel Girl or a Shana. Even Doom's necessarily not bad because you can half fill it, you can then fill it once on 6. We just don't have. I mean, Flood the other locations actually isn't terrible because like Gilgamesh here, it's a 5/10, but then we can play Nico and Thing first steps into this lane. And we can see if that's enough. Actually, we play Gilgamesh left. Yeah, let's do that. They played left. What have they played? Once in Future. Gets rid of the Acid Arrow. Gwen pulls down. Yeah, 11 there. So we're good left still. What is Nico? Give it +2 power. We will absolutely do that. Thank you very much. Do we snap back? I haven't got anything to lose at the moment. Let's do it. Why not? So depending on their hits for Gwenpool, they're out. Cool. Victory. Yeah, depending on the hits for Gwenpool, They could have still put something there, but thing would have gone to +2 power from that goes to 8. It goes to 10 power, so it's pretty much destroyed most things in this lane. I've seen some crazy names in Marvel Snap lately. We are playing against someone called Superb Vinegar. Okay, yeah, Squirrel Girl to start. We have Mockingbird in hand as well, and Hawkeye Bishop. So that's pretty good. I was thinking about dropping Mockingbird for Ultron, but I think we just stick with it. Yeah, let's play Hawkeye Bish mid. Westview always has the potential to screw us over somehow. We got the 2 arrows that stay on our side, that's pretty good. Random cards. It's only Hercules and Rhino. I mean, Rhino's good for filling as well, you know. Rhino is good for filling, so we do Rhino here. We can do Pim Arrow here because we can play Mockingbird or Gilgamesh here. That will win Pit of Exile. We don't mind that at all. How cheap can we get Mockingbird? Goes for 1, right? Excellent. And basic arrow goes down even further. So it's a 4. Okay. +1 energy means we can play Blue Marvel as well. Which means next turn we can play basic arrow, Marvel Boy and Mockingbird, and then finish with the Gilgamesh. Because they've only played Thor, I do think we have to snap on it. Even if we're not playing Gilgamesh in the left lane. They're gone. Yeah, cool. Victory. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, we should have Ant-Man in hand, getting a rock, getting a vibranium. Both really good for us, actually. And we get the Squirrel Girl, you know, which is great. So yeah, let's drop that now. We have Ant-Man, we have vibranium. We've got our cheap cards that we can use to fill. And we have Mockingbird in first steps as well, which is already looking very good. Arc Dimension is less good. Yeah, if we... So we can't play Think First Steps into Dark Dimension. Or like if we drop Shana in there. That might not be ideal either. What we can do... Mona probably... Negative. Marvel Boy now. Right, let's play Marvel Boy right side. They can only play one more card here though. Let's see. It's magic, so they have to turn that off. Yeah, we don't have anywhere to turn that off. Our dimension is going to be slightly tricky. Exile's a really good surprise value as well for power, for what they're not expecting. Mockingbird there as well. Yeah, potentially good too. I need to see what they're going to play. Just think first steps at the moment, like left and right, we don't really have good targets. Playing Think First Steps here would discourage them from playing something here because then he's got a chance of destroying it. I don't mind dropping it now because it will gain power. So let's do that. They are going to play something Dark Dimension. It's Jubilee. Spider-Ham. It's Blue Marvel. We could drop Gilgamesh now, because that's going to be so 9, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 he will go up to. It's just a 21 power in this lane. And then we still have next turn we can drop Mockingbird, Sharla, whatever it is we draw. My worry is that this is going to be ongoing tribunal, isn't it? So we try to outscore them, but obviously we don't have any tech for them. Oh, we hit the blue marble. Okay, that's fine. We're not unlikely to play that anyway. Just that, isn't it? So yeah, we are going to go. We need to go tall, I think. Because they're going to try and spread their power. It depends on their draw. So I think we do this because we need to try and be taller in our 2 lanes rather than spreading power. So it's just Vibranium and Kazar there. So yeah, we should be bigger left and right. Is it going to be big enough? 4 cards, so probably not.
It's clobbering time.
Cool. Vibranium, Kazar, Shana. So we are 30 and 29.
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Onslaught.
Behold my mighty
Iron
hand.
Lad. It's the Super Scroll. And Mystiques, they did not get the Tribunal. Sweet. They were huge middle as well, my good 120. Yeah, so they didn't get Tribunal from the Iron Lad, so we were still very good left and right. Cool. Okay, cool. Squirrel Girl, Shanna, and Nico to start. Nico into Squirrel Girl, which is 1-4. Don't hate it. Dazzler's also good. Because we've got a good chance to fill lanes with all these cards. So it's Squirrel Girl right. Which means it's probably going to have to be Shana right as well. We need to leave a space though for Gilgamesh. Because we've got some ongoing cards which we don't mind. Marvel Boy can go mid actually because that's not on reveal. Dazzler can go mid as well. So far so good. Kingpin, Meek and Yondu. Thank God Loki went mid, but because of nowhere we didn't get didn't get any bad things happening to us. Yeah, let's just drop Marvel Boy for now. It's Morbius, it's discard, but we need to get either Thing First Steps or Gilgamesh. So yeah, Marvel Boy is going to buff us a bit. Collector mid, Morbius right. They haven't played a lot of cards, they're still hoping on a Modok. So Mockingbird is all 1 cost. So we drop Blue Marvel mid, because this will fill, and then we potentially can drop Gilgamesh or Thing First Steps with Mockingbird final turn, or failing that we'll just play Dazzler and Mockingbird if it's... Well, it depends what it is. We've got Ant-Man still, we've got Kazar, so we've still got some very good options for power. Late it's the Scorn. And Bastion gives us another Morbius and another Blade. So... And it's Gilgamesh, right, okay, so yeah, we are dropping Gilgamesh right. Mockingbird left. No, sorry, take that back. Mockingbird first, because Mockingbird will get buffed by Blue Marvel. Extra points for Gilgamesh. Let's go. I wouldn't think they're going to play left. I think they're definitely playing for right hand side. But yeah, Gilgamesh is going to be huge. That's every card on the board except for Blue Marvel buffed. So yeah, that should be huge, right? That's a 20 power Gilgamesh. Played it Swarm. Uses Modok. Let's clean wing there, no, we should be fine. Yeah, cool. Yeah, obviously that wasn't the Bastion hits that deck really wants. But yeah, that's still a ton of power on our side, 24 and 33. Yeah, really good.
Victory.
Another win, cool. Okay, Nico, Blue Marvel and Dazzler to start. Oh, we got Gilgamesh as well. Do you know what? Vibranium Mines isn't bad for us if we need an influx of 1-cost cards. So yeah, let's play Nico now. Yeah, 1-4. Might as well. 2 Raptors for Savage Land is pretty good. Let's play into Vibranium Mines now. So then we can play Marvel Boy for 3. Travona, so I think Camotage. So there's 1 Vibranium. Plan this out, so it's turn 3 now. So if we go Marvel Boy, something, Blue Marvel, and Gilgamesh, and maybe Vibranium. I need to see where we need to play. And if we can win mid with our Marvel Boy buffs, and potentially like a Vibranium or something, or an Ant-Man. Get another Vibranium. We can get Thing First Steps next turn, and then turn 6 will be Gilgamesh plus a 1. So yeah, we're looking for Ant-Man or Squirrel Girl or Vibranium, which will be very good. I think the Raptors have actually helped us out here a lot. Rona and Luke Cage. Is this C2? Yeah, it's always C2. Okay. Which means we could try and stop the Lasher with Thing. 3, currently a 33% chance. Sure, why not? 25% chance. It's Shadow King. It's Bro. Do they do the Lasher now? They do not. Get the Lasher. All the cards to hit, man. Hit those. And it's Kazar, so we don't get anything. They retreated.
Victory.
Yes, of course they did. Yeah, we had that in the bag for sure. Yeah, obviously we could have only really played Shana, but at least Shana would have given us 2 cards here. It wouldn't have been a lot. Obviously it was enough. So yeah, cool. That's a good start. So yeah, this OTA, first of all, I just want to say it's a very bold move by Second Dinner to do this. I have thoughts on this. The reason I think it's a very bold move is because I think it's very expectant of a lot of players to, first of all, be reading all this information on the patch notes to find out kind of what's going on exactly with it, but then also being able to expect people to read the Discord to find out, oh, okay, this is only an experiment for 2 weeks, because it's not made perfectly clear. Because this whole balance experiment is a bit, it's like it's an event that's kind of happening. They've said yes, it's going to unintended consequences, blah blah blah. They might change things back. They don't say that in as many words in this part though. So if you're in Marvel Snap the game, you click on the link that says balance update, it brings you here. It just tells you what it is, the robots have taken over, blah blah blah. So I think if you are a player that doesn't follow these things as deeply as I do, and probably a lot of other players do, and other content creators do, you might not think this is just a temporary experiment. You might think this is, okay, they have killed Killmonger, Shang-Chi is now worse, all these tech cards are now much, much worse. And if you're a player that is a bit disillusioned with the game, as a lot of people are at the moment, I don't know, I just think this could have been a final straw maybe for those players, because hitting that many tech cards in one go is tricky, because I always think of like lower collection players as well, who kind of have to rely on tech cards until they kind of get those bigger, better cards that they can then fill out their decks with. A lot of those players rely on these tech cards. Especially if you're competing against players with higher CL levels, you need kind of tech to kind of balance it out. And if you don't have that tech and you don't have those good cards, you're not going to win games of Marvel Snap. So yeah, it's a very bold move doing this. I would have liked them to be much clearer in game to say, this is an experiment for 2 weeks. We will evaluate these cards again in 2 weeks to see what changes we will make. We'll either turn them back or we'll just adjust power. They might have mentioned these things in the Discord, but then like a lot of players won't read the Discord. They won't read those notes. They won't know what's going on. I think you need to make it clearer in game to all players so that you know what's going on. As it is, I don't actually mind them doing this in a weird way. A weird thing to do, yes, to hit all these tech cards, but do you know what? A 2-week break from tech gives people a chance to build decks. It gives the meta a chance to completely change, and that can be a good thing. I think everyone's going to kind of wait and see what the decks are that are going to be the best decks for the next 2 weeks. If there's not a lot of tech, I still think there will be tech, but it just might change what that tech is. But yeah, it is a chance for players to try something else, and I think with Marvel Snap that's potentially a good thing. Like I said though, hitting that many tech cards is a lot, and potentially it might be too much, especially when you've got Deadpool's Diner coming up, that in the past has been one of the more grindy limited time game modes, and if the meta is horrible, that is not going to be a pleasant experience. So let's see what happens. I'm interested to do it for 2 weeks to see what happens, but then also at the end of it, I'm more interested to see what Secondin actually decides to do with these tech cards, because I think they might be tempted to leave them as they are, and if they do that, I think it's going to be a problem long term for the game. So yeah, just run quickly through the cards that got changed. Shang-Chi getting changed to destroy 1 card that has 10 or more power. I don't mind it. It's very rare that you're destroying more than 1 card with Shang-Chi, right? There are certain games you can do it, like a Victoria hand is very popular at the moment. It's certainly possible to get a lot of cards that are plus 10 power, and in those cases, Shang-Chi is not enough because there's still a lot of power on the board. But I think in regular games of Marvel Snap, if you think about it, you're really only taking out 1 card with Shang-Chi, so I don't mind it. And I think 4-2, I would prefer it to stay at 4-3 if it's only destroying 1 card. If it was destroying any card, I think, yeah, changing it to 4-2 is fair. I think that's okay. I don't mind the Shang-Chi one. Let's see how we get on with it. The Killmonger one in particular I find very weird, because it takes out Destroy for a start, where it's trying to destroy all those 1-cost cards, because then you're relying on having those 1-cost cards in one location that you can do it, because Killmonger is often you're destroying with Carnage first, and then using Killmonger to destroy whatever is left, Deadpool and X-23, but obviously the X-23 moves to different lanes, so Killmonger is used to kind of destroy that wherever it is. So you're kind of then having to maybe change your play pattern for Destroy in particular, which makes Killmonger a bit more difficult. But just as well as being a kind of defensive card, destroying all the 3-cost, all the 1-cost cards that your opponent has. Like I said, like we're playing a zoo deck in this video. That's much better because Killmonger is not able to destroy all those cards. It can only do it in one lane. I don't particularly like this change. I like Killmonger as kind of that option, especially because I think Victoria Hand is now one of the best cards and decks in the game because of the demons it can put out, the extra power it can put on it. I think having Killmonger as the chance to take those cards out, you might need that unless they're going to make changes to Victoria Hand in the future. I think that might be in the next OTA, but let's wait and see. Enchantress going to a 5/8. Yeah, okay. That's okay. I actually think we might see a lot more ongoing cards now in the meta, so that Enchantress actually, even at 5-cost, might still be worth playing. I was kind of expecting to see a lot more ongoing than I have. I've barely seen any, to be honest. So again, I think we're kind of waiting to see what decks take over, but I think Enchantress might still have a place. Whether that is at 5-cost, I'm not sure. I kind of like Enchantress at 4 because then you have the kind of parity with Shang-Chi, because if you're playing a big card you can do that with Shang-Chi at 4-cost, and if you're playing something ongoing you can do that with Enchantress at 5-cost. But because Enchantress affects more than one card, maybe 5-cost is fair. Let's wait and see. Shadow King at 3/3 is dead. Like, I don't think anyone's going to play Shadow King at 3/3. Yeah, it's a weird one. Yeah, not a fan. I can see it going back to 2/2. I think, do people really moan about Shadow King that much? Like, I know they're doing this thing to all the tech cards, but I just don't think that Shadow King needs to be changed. I think 2/2 is fair for Shadow King. It's a low cost card, but it's low power. Yeah, it does that job. I would expect it to go back to 2/2, but again, let's wait and see. Negasonic Teenage Warhead, yes, I think they had to change it. 4/5. It's not ideal. I like it at 3. I think it fits nicely at 3, but they didn't like it with Fenris, but they changed Fenris to 3-cost as well. And this kind of takes this out of those Surfer decks as well for now, for 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm not sure on this. I know Negasonic is a problem. A lot of people don't like it. Is it going to see play at 4-cost? I don't think it is. I think if you change Negasonic to be a 3/2, I just think that's more reasonable. Having that kind of 2 power, kind of again on parity with Shadow King. You're doing something that's going to directly affect your opponent with not massive cost associated to it. And 2 power means if you play your Negasonic early, it still gives your opponent a chance to catch up in the rest of the turns. So yeah, then you're kind of looking to play Negasonic late, and then it is 2 power enough to still win that lane if it's destroying something. So yeah, I would hope Negasonic gets changed for a 3/2, but again, let's wait and see. And then Alioth going from a 6/9 to a 6/6 that's a massive nerf. Like, plus, in any point in this game, like we always talk about like +3 power, whether that was from like Galacta when they used to do it. +3 power is a lot, and going the other way, -3 power is a lot as well. Like 6/6, I don't think that's still bad for Alioth. I think obviously because you're looking to get priority with Alioth, you're probably looking to put those bigger power cards down earlier, so it does make sense for Alioth to be less. I think 6/6 can still be fair. I think it depends more on Wiccan, because Alioth is the main kind of weapon in those Wiccan decks where you're getting priority through having that extra energy on turn 5 for Alioth on turn 6. So yeah, I still think Alioth can be very good at 6/6, but I think we need to see what the meta is like for Alioth in those decks. Red Guardian got absolutely killed. I love Red Guardian, I think it's a really good card, but at 3/0, I mean, the effects of Red Guardian is so good, but the problem with it is that obviously, yeah, removing its text is very tricky. especially when you have another card in Cosmic Guardian, Cosmic Ghost Rider, that can do the same effect, but obviously yes, it's 5 cost, but it's also 7 power, and it can do it to both cards in the front lane, whatever that is. So do you run Red Guardian at all, or do you just put Cosmic Ghost Rider in your deck? I think you'd probably go with Cosmic Ghost Rider, to be honest. Cosmo, first of all, they don't like dogs, so that's a real pain in the ass. But yeah, Cosmo get to a 4/6, that's a lot. All these kind of 3 cost cards that have gone from 3 to 4, it just seems bad. It just seems bad. Like, is Cosmo at a 4/6? How does that fit into kind of your play styles? Because Cosmo on a 3 is like, okay, yes, you can play Cosmo early and play around it, or you can kind of play Cosmo as a late disruptor if you can kind of stop what your opponent's doing. But at 4 cost, it's much harder to do that. So I don't particularly like that change. I would like Cosmo to go back to 3/3 ideally. But again, like, we don't really know what second gen are going to do. That's all the changes for the cards. But yeah, I just think it's going to be an interesting 2 weeks. It's been a real pain for me as a content creator, especially because I like to make a new deck for the card each week. This week's newest card was Bastion. I found it more niche than I thought it was going to be. I tried it in a lot of different decks, but obviously Bastion works best in those discard decks with like Darken, for example. That works really well there. Works well in C3 for getting extra Cerebros. Yeah, I was trying Bastion with things like Wolfsbane and Sage and trying to do stuff like that, but it just wasn't enough really for anything else you're trying to do in that deck. And so because of that, I was like, okay, I'm not going to make a deck for Bastion. I'll make one for one of the cards that gets buffed in the OTA, because that is often what happens. But all the cards got nerfed instead, so it left me in a bit of a pickle. So yeah, I had to make this zoo deck. Like I said, it's a standard kind of zoo deck, but with the change to Killmonger, it's a lot more viable now. So it's a chance to play a deck that you might not have played for a long time, or if ever. So yeah, hope you give the deck a go. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Cheers.